Hi, my name is Audrey Williams of Audrey Williams Flowers to Interiors. I'm a floral as well as an interior designer, and I'm developing a cut flower garden. So this is a tour of where I've got so far. This is definitely a part one. There's lots to do and lots that I want to do in the future. So I just want you to kind of have a quick walk with me, and I'll talk you through what I've done so far and what I'm going to do in the future. So let's walk around the garden. So this is the angle of the developing cut flower garden. There's lots to be done, and I'll just walk you through what I've done so far and what we're going to do in the future. So along here is one L-shaped bed, so it goes all along here and all along there, and that's full of plants already. And on top of the soil is bark chippings to keep in the moisture and also to keep the weeds down. And then if I come at this angle, there's another L-shaped bed which goes along here and along there. And then over far near the greenhouse, there's a bed that goes along there and along here. That's another L-shaped bed. And all this fabric, weed bane fabric, is eventually it's going to be all stones, so all the ground has to be leveled and then compacted and put sand down, and then it's going to have like stones on top. And the pergola is just going here, so there's where you can see those two posts are going to have a post here, a post here, then a post here and a post here, and all underneath there will be flagstones, and then obviously the pergola up in the air, and then you can sort of sit on there with your flowers on either side. And this bed is full of bulbs at the moment, but it's also got some alstroemeria and a viburnum plant, and this pot here is a plum tree. So oh, and the fence is coloured with farrel and ball pigeon, and I haven't quite finished yet because over here we've got wheelbarrows and things, and here needs to be cemented because there's a pipe going out that way. And so this is all going to have, along the back here will have trellis, so when the plants grow up they will be along the trellis for the tall plants at the back, and then here will be all stones and everything. And we have a couple of wood burners, so that's why we've got these great big pieces of wood for the gardener to come and cut those. So let's walk into the space. Oh, and along here is 3 other beds. So we've got 1, 2 and 1 further down, and these were full of primarily, as you can see, and they're still there, was dahlias, different varieties, and there's other things going on in here as well. And what I'm going to do is, they came out so big and sort of spilt over, they clearly need to kind of go in against a fence. So in the along the back there, I'm going to be putting all the dahlias for them to come up next year. So let's just walk through. That kind of gives you an overview. Oh, and the greenhouse is directly linked to the cut flower garden, and I do have a tour of my greenhouse, and I'll put that linked below so that you can have a look what's inside there. So there's going to be a path either side. So this is 1 bed here, 1 bed here, 1 bed here, and a path either side. And this is all to keep the weeds down. It's a little bit of a building site at the moment, but I did kind of want you to see it in its before stage. So all this bed that I'm going to put the dahlias, and also I've got some gladioli which was all flopping over, so again they're going to be going here, and they'll come back. And then this is where the pergola is going. I got that pot from Home Sense a couple of years ago, so that won't be living there, but I'm just resting it there for the moment. So let's go along I'll have to be careful. All this, because the ground's a bit uneven. So as I said, it's a work in progress, and there's lots to do. But as I said as well, that this is part 1 of the video, and I will show you more progress as we go along. So there'll probably be a part 2 and a part 3, and so you can sort of see. So I've got clematis here, and I've got, this is like a passion flower. I didn't realise it takes over so much. I did have it at our old house. The neighbour had it at our old house, and it was like it's covering. But I do actually like the flowers that come on it. Now this metal frame was painted white, and it was left here from when we bought the house in the garden. So I painted it white, leaned it up against the fence, and it's acting like a great frame for things to grow up against. So at the moment, the passion flower is very happy sort of growing up against it. And yeah, I bought this plant, it literally was only this high, and it's just like taken over in such a short space of time. But you know, that's what it's here for. It's here to grow. So this is an anemone, and it's kind of white with a pink center, and that's the clematis. That's a sedum. This is an astrantia. What else have I got in here? I think this is a cotinus. Yeah, it's only got like a few leaves left, but apparently it dies down in the winter, and then it sort of comes back, and it's all this kind of really purple foliage that comes on it. So yeah, it's great. This is a cocosmia, aster. I've got another anemone there that should come back. This is a verbena. That's a gypsophilia, and I still need to paint all along there, like I said, but I'm just waiting for a dry day, because at the moment it's a bit damp. That's alchemilla, aster. What else? This is another cotinus, and what's going to happen is all along here it's going to have a 6-foot trellis, and so 6 foot high, and then so all these tall plants will be growing against it. And as I said, this will be all concreted, and then that will have stones on it as well, and that's my little garden shed, and that's going to be painted as well. So there's lots to do. What else have I got? So I've got more astrantia, skimmia, hydrangea, and that's another anemone there in a different colour. I think this one was pink. So that's the L-shaped bed that's going along there. So this was all beautiful flowers, and I cut from them, and it was lovely, but obviously it's this time of the year, so it's not so lovely. And then we've got this L-shaped bed here that sort of mirrors that bed. So you've got this space in the middle where it's going to have all the stones, and this is full of tulips and bulbs at the moment, and alstroemeria here, and I think, what did I can't remember what I planted here. I think that's a viburnum, yeah, that I planted there. So let's go back through, and I'll show you what the plans are for here. So this bed, as I said, is completely empty, apart from very sad clematis there. But the idea is that the clematis is kind of grows up on the frame. So behind me there's fields, so you can't really see, so there's nothing behind me. And so there's this huge bed here, and that's going to have the tall flowers that I had in the other bed. So let's take you over to those there. The view of the garden with the big L-shaped bed that I said is empty, and we're going to put the tall flowers in. And this is again some weed prevention going on here, so it's an older rug, but But again, so what I want to talk to you is about this centerpiece here. So what I'm going to do is not going to have any more beds here. It's going to have be part pebbled and part paved, and then it will have sort of seating in the middle here so that you can enjoy the flowers as well as cut the flowers and rest and everything like that. And then you have the sort of path going down here. So it's all a hot mess at the moment, but it will be gorgeous, I promise you. But I did want you to sort of see the before, because it's, you know, it's more realistic. So I want you to sort of see how it was and what I've been working with, because before all of here was just soil and weeds, and we didn't do anything with it. So I thought, okay, let's turn it into a cut flower garden, because another section of my garden does have is a kitchen garden, and then there's another section which is kind of the eating section of the garden, and then there's the other section which has just got flowers which I don't cut, and it's just to look pretty. So but this one I definitely want like flowers to sort of cut from. So these 3 beds here, 1, 2, and there's one sort of further along here, is what I basically started off with. And in here I had lots of gladioli, and these is that here, but they came up so tall and was just hanging over. So I'm going to take those and put them all along the back there. And here as well is going to have trellis, so you'll have like a wall, and the trellis will be quite high. Oh, let's see if I can, yeah, it's better. And so just going to plant those over there. And as I can say, I've got agapanthus, got snapdragons. I did have cornflowers growing throughout the place, and it kind of took over, but they're all finished now because they're just annuals. And yes, so these are, and they're lovely. These dahlias, let's see how we focused. Yeah, and they sort of just took over, and they're really big, so that's why I want to move them to over there, and then I can kind of keep them up along the back there. I don't know if we're going to have enough room because they're huge, and we had some really big pink ones and pom-pom ones, and they're just like saucers. They're just absolutely lovely. And then we've got these smaller ones which I think I might leave in here. So these are dahlias as well, but they kind of just get into this height, so I might leave those in here, and some grasses. Originally in here I did have some tulips and some mascara, so they should come up back in the spring. And this frame here I got, and it was full of cornflowers, and they were sort of, to stop them from flopping over, you kind of strung them through there, but the cornflowers are all finished now. And I did have asters in here as well, and I've got some honesty, and I think that's about it really that was in here. So again, I'm just going to be tidying this all up, and yeah, so that is the cut flower garden at the moment. If you are interested in the kitchen garden, I can do a separate tour of that. Again, because of the time of the year, there's only certain things that are going to be in there, but that's way more established. That was sort of done when we kind of first moved here, so that's all done, all up. So this is the project that I'm working on at the moment, and hopefully I'll have some progress, because I will be working through the winter on it as well. So there's just, you know, clearing it up and tidying it up, and seeing the different things that I can plant at certain times of the year, and working on certain areas. So if we've got some dry winter days, here will be cemented off, and we'll start working on the center bits. So yeah, that just kind of gives you an idea of where we are at the moment with the cut flower garden. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure to sort of take you round and help you to sort of see the vision and what I'm trying to work on. If you have any ideas or tips, please comment in the comment box below. I'd love to hear them. Gardening is something I've recently taken up, so I'm learning and growing, and there's just so much to learn and so much to do, but I'm really enjoying it. If there's any tips that you have, please share them down in the comment box. I would really love to read them. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got part 2, part 3, different tours of this garden as I develop it, and I will be working on it. So subscribe to my channel. If this is something that a video that you like, give it a thumbs up. And I do have other parts of the garden, like I said, which is the kitchen garden and also the garden that we sort of dine in, and another section where we just have flowers that are not for cutting. So if you want to see tours of those, comment in the comment box below. I'd love to hear what you would like to see in the future. So thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.